Ladies and gentlemen, children of the interwebs out there, Sebastian Envy, Strong Style Cinna, finally got ourselves a Blue Beetle trailer. So let's geek about it for a scant few minutes because there wasn't a whole lot to it in terms of the plot. I mean, if you know Blue Beetle, you know the overarching story. Jaime Reyes has an alien scarab that is like a tool of war, kind of, basically, that he gets hold of, it gets attached to him, and he forges an unlikely sort of working relationship, friendship, whatever with this thing to save the world, basically. Pretty cool trailer, in all honesty. It highlighted some of the things I fully expect to deal with in this movie. It's an origin movie of sorts. We know how this goes, how the beats go from a plot standpoint. He's going to get a hold of this thing. Clearly, it's an AI that he's going to have to get along with, learn to get along with. So there's going to be some awkward moments between himself and the scarab. I imagine him. I don't know if the scarab's going to be talking out loud in this, or if it's just going to be like to him. So we have those instances that you saw sometimes in the Brave and the Bold cartoon, which really put a spotlight on Jaime, and in Young Justice, where he's kind of at war with the scarab, and you see him like talking to himself and kind of weirding people out and stuff like that. So I imagine we'll get some obligatory jokes in that regard. I imagine we'll get a montage where he learns to harness the powers, because we see him kind of early in the trailer not having control over it. Then we see some of the action scenes from what I'm assuming is the third act and leading towards the climax, where he's just going through, just kicking butt and forming weapons on purpose that he can use in the fight. So I imagine there's going to be a montage in it, that sort of thing. Those are things that are expected. It's kind of like an old hat at this point when it comes to superhero stories and origins and how things are laid out. So it's just a matter of the execution. The beats are the same. The tropes are the same, by and large. So it's a matter of the execution, the characters, the charisma factor of the lead actor. In this case, we'll see what he's got. See, George Lopez is playing a part of the supporting family. In this, I like the idea that the family is brought in from the jump, to where he's not having to kind of creep around and keep an identity a secret from his family. In the world at large, that's fine, but the idea that the family is a big part of this, I'm hoping we get some good shine on like the Hispanic culture and the familial, cultural aspects of them. I imagine Jaime is going to be dealing with a lot of pressure. He's going to be the one that's looked at to be the one that goes out there and makes it for the family. You see earlier in the trailer where the whole family is there, chanting his name as he's, I'm assuming, going to get a job interview or something, may even have the job or a job interview or something, but the whole family is like in the car behind him, chanting and cheering for him and making a spectacle and totally embarrassing him. But that's what goes on, and just I can see him being like made to be like the breadwinner, the one that's gonna like be the first to do this or the first to do that. So I'm interested to see how that plays out for him in the film. We see Susan Sarandon is playing the villain. She even says the scarab chose him, but it's mine, so she's going to want it for nefarious purposes. Remains to be seen what that is and who ultimately is the big bad of the film and how he's going to interact with Jaime. You see at one part a shout out to Dan Garrett and Ted Kord versions of the Blue Beetle, so that was nice. But all in all, it was a fun, well done trailer, which of course, trailers are designed to make you want to see the movie, which it did. I'm curious from a costume and visual effects design aspect of it, because at first glance, if you don't know a lot about Blue Beetle, but you know about Spider-Man from the MCU stuff, it kind of looks very Iron Spidery. And then of course we get, ever since Iron Man came out and the HUD screen for in armor shots, we get that ad nauseum with these various movies, not even superhero movies. It's creeping into other movies but that's going to be a thing. So it's like, how do they separate that and make that different from stuff that has come before? So there's stuff that they're going to have to deal with, hurdles that they're going to have to deal with, just misconceptions from the general public they're going to have to deal with about this being a copy of this and that sort of thing. It is what it is, because not everybody's in tune with comics, but by the same token, a lot of the comic characters do have similar outfits or design choices and that sort of thing. So when you're adapting that, I mean, you're going to run into similarities from what has come before. It just is what it is. So it's just a matter of the execution from the characters and the actors involved, I think, is what's going to, set this apart from and make this successful. So remains to be seen how it all plays out. Remains to be seen if Blue Beetle is going to be part of James Gunn and Peter Safran's DCU going forth. Has that been predetermined? Is the buzz on this film good enough to kind of factor Blue Beetle into the plans? Or are they just going to wait till the box office comes out and then see from there? Because I feel like they might have done that with Shazam, given the success of the first one, but now the second one has totally bombed. So does that make him not part of the plans going forth? So are they doing that with Blue Beetle? Are they factoring it in because of early positive buzz? Or are they ultimately going to wait for the box office to come out and see? I mean, we have till August to find out what they're going to do. So remains to be seen how it all plays out. I guess we'll all find out together. But I'm at least quite interested in it. I mean, I'm not a super timey Blue Beetle guy from a comic standpoint, but it looked like a good film. So I'm going to check it out and see what's what with it. But those are some of my thoughts on it, scattered as they often are. What do you guys out there think? Let me know in the comments below. Follow me on social media. Talk to me there. Talk to me here. Until next time, let us geek.